Hello and welcome everybody to 1995. And it's square, like a waffle maker, like a campfire toaster or waffle maker. All right, let's talk about how we got here, okay? 1992, McGregor and Mizuno came out with titanium drivers. Yay, and then Callaway parachutes in with a big 1995 Great Big Bertha Ruger titanium, big old titanium driver. Okay, so we have materials and size, and in Canada, Accuform, which was a Pro-Line brand, was like, shapes. We want a different shape. Instead of titanium or making it bigger or more forgiving, we're going to make it square, which might make it more forgiving. It's interesting. The Whistler, we have the Whistler here, credited as the first hollow body metal wood driver that's square. It's square. Let's get this lump of squareness on the review table and have a closer look. Very identifiable. The Accuform logo over Accuform in text over Whistler. Look, there's actually a whistle, like a referee whistle right here. The one wood, 11 degrees. There's a cavity back here. Nike also did cavities in some of their drivers, like covert. The face, the skirt, the crown, all painted this matte primer gray with the Accuform logo up on top. The contemporaries, let's have a look. Mid-90s Ping, Karsten. This is just a Ping Karsten laminate driver. Look at the size difference. Is there a size difference? It's very appropriate for the era of just pretty standard drivers. 2007, obviously, when Nike's making their square drivers, there's a little size difference there, just a little bit. Can you see that? Anyway, we'll put that down here for a minute. And as we spin up the hosel, you can see patent pending right here on this black ferrule. The shaft is an Accuform branded shaft, form flex, regular flex, which is going to be a 3 here. I put this on here just to remind me of the year. UST branded shaft. This looks like a aftermarket. I have no idea what grip it came with, but this is just a Royal grip, Tour Wrap style grip. So I'm excited. The original square driver here. Let's get this out on the range and see how it feels.
Accuform Whistler. Are you kidding me? When I think of Whistler, I think of a couple of things. I think of this, there's this old movie with Robert Redford in it called Sneakers. And there's a character named Whistler in that movie. So that's kind of what I think of. The other thing, you know, this club is interesting because Accuform was a Pro-Line brand. Did you know that? Accuform is just kind of one of those brands that just disappeared in a lot of people's minds. A lot of people don't know. Like, I talked to somebody about it recently because of this club. And they're like, what's Accuform? Is that like a technology of one of the big brands? I'm like, no, it's a brand. So it is, needless to say, in my mind, interesting. If for no other reason, then it's gone. Okay, so looking down at this, instantly my first thought is loud, because I've been programmed to think that because of the Nike square, like Sasquatch drivers. The Sumo, but it is just square, but the square gives it a bigger footprint, which makes it look more inviting to hit. Does that make sense? Like, if you asked me, you know, from the era, like, if in 95, let's say, if this came out in 95, yeah, the Great Big Bertha or this, which one looks more forgiving? I might say this, because that has a big old footprint. I don't know. It does also look like something that I would make French toast in. All right, so here we go. No idea what's going to happen here. Never hit this. No idea how loud it's going to be. A little pulley one into the wind. It looked like it might have carried 200. Let's see if we can do that again without pulling it quite so much. That felt solid. I felt like I hit it right out of the screws. There are no screws in this. I felt like I hit it right out of the sweet spot. And it just took off. I mean, it was flying. Man, I am not comfortable after that last one. I'm a little nervous about pulling it again. And that leads me to this teeter-totter of, I'm gonna slice it, I'm gonna pull it. Relax. All right, here we go. All right. Thin, gives me feedback, it was thin. Playable shot though. Yeah, this reminds me of this era, because I started playing in the late 90s. Like I went to the driving range like in the late 90s, and this is my memory of hitting these clubs. It hasn't changed for me at all. People are like, neither has your swing. Yeah, probably true. All right, here we go. Here we go. Weaker grip, same ideas. There we go. A little fadey. The wind helps. The wind is coming into off the left. Oh, holy smokes. That one definitely carried over 200. That was a good... So it's me. What you're saying is it's me, not the club. No, but for a square driver, this might be my favorite square driver I've ever hit. I like this more than the Callaway FT whatever square. I like this more than the Sumo square. It's not... I don't feel like I want to swing this as hard, but as far as like a club I like this a lot. Do you remember Accuform? Do you remember the Whistler driver? The first modern hollow body square driver? I'm sure there was a square driver before this. People will say, well, technically, long nose clubs were... All right, anyway, we're gonna go back to the studio. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
On the range, I really liked it. It sounded good. It sounded fine. It's my favorite sounding square driver. But after that, what is it to me? It's kind of historically interesting, kind of. It's, you know, at the time, you know, with this big cavity back here and the shape, it was like, oh, this is interesting. An interesting driver, okay? But what am I going to do with this? I like it. I genuinely like it. Am I going to put it in a golf bag and play golf with it? It's not really high on my list. It is different. It is interesting. Well, what about my range bag? Well, there's another square driver. Boom! Which goes in my range bag all the time, still to this day, because it's interesting, and I love introducing people to this club, because you know, you get the same comment every time. Actually, I have some footage of the comment made by my son.
That was really loud, Dad.
Is that crazy loud?
No, crazy loud. Did this go over the bushes? It did not. Did it go over the bushes? I did not see it. Yeah, that's loud.
Did it go over the bushes? I love that. And that's what people ask. They're like, whoa, it sounds so loud. I didn't realize I needed earplugs. It's like, whoa, it sounded like it went further than it did. Yeah, because this to me is one of the most interesting drivers ever made. Something I put in my range bag, not something I'm going to put in my gamer bag, if that makes sense. I don't want to play 9 holes with it. I just want to hit it a couple of times on the range. So annoyingly, where it progressed seems to me like something I'd rather hit than the original here, the original Whistler. So I'm kind of that's where I'm at right now with this. It's just like I like ridiculous, I like crazy things, whereas this might just be a little too normal, too square, L7 square, right? Anyway. Let me know your thoughts. Accuform Whistler square drivers. What are your thoughts about this the whole shape? How this takes shape. Historically, square drivers, should they bring them back? After Nike with the titanium, Callaway with theirs as well, there were some knockoffs that were just made out of aluminum. And I hate the aluminum drivers that say like titanium matrix. You're like, it's just aluminum. Those to me are horrible, horrible. Don't like those. Anyway, Whistler, Nike, Callaway, Let us know all your thoughts, memories in the comments below. As usual, huge shout out to my patrons. I really appreciate your support. You guys really keep this channel alive. Another way you can support the channel is by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. That's how it helps this channel. Please stay tuned for some data. I hit a few shots with the Whistler in the indoor simulator. I'll put that at the end of the video. You can see those data there. Thank you everybody for watching. I am the Vintage Golfer.